Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I am Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
The Quarry is
Hmm.
a, I don't even know how you call these games, like interactive video game movie. It's Until Dawn.
Fun.
Fun, amazing, one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
If you haven't played, so there are other games, Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology. I think I guess maybe Telltale. Telltale games are kind
Telltale.
of
I was just
similar
about
to
to
them.
say,
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
Telltale,
that's
yeah. It's been so
Walking
long.
Dead, all those, yeah.
Life is Strange. Yeah, okay, all those games. Yeah, it's one of those. So, um, The Quarry is the follow up to Until Dawn, which has the Dark Pictures
I
in
only found about it
between.
recently. I didn't know it was the direct follow-up to Until Dawn. I mean, not
Well,
story-wise, but like the same team.
yeah. So, Supermassive.
Yes.
So Supermassive Games. So Supermassive Games did Until Dawn, and since then have been doing
Hmm.
the Dark Pictures, which they've put out four of them since Until Dawn, and then The Quarry just came out last year.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they were just this team with like, okay, we make all these games, but there's actually like the Until Dawn people and the Quarry people, and then the Dark Pictures people. So they're two different
Hmm.
groups, and you can tell.
Yeah.
So I've played three of the four Dark Pictures games so far. The
Hmm.
Quarry and Until Dawn are this weird step up in quality. So
Hmm.
if you've never played one of these, you need to start there because Dark Pictures they're
Yeah.
pretty good. They're fine. They're entertaining. You're into horror. You like this kind of thing. They're good.
Sure.
The Quarry and Until Dawn just have this incredible production level
Yeah.
and just amazing stories, just great characters. Just it's head and shoulders above when you play a Dark Pictures game.
Hmm.
It feels so much better. They're better written. The characters are more interesting. The scenarios are much longer, much more detailed. You get much more in depth into things. Whereas Dark Pictures
Yeah.
is a lot of like, there's a scary thing on the boat. Go find the scary thing on the boat. You found the scary thing on the boat. Get off the boat.
I was wondering, is it because I mean, I'm sure the production value is higher on these, but is it just that they just have more time to tell a story? Because the Dark Picture ones are kind of like more like short
Yeah, they're
stories.
like those are like 5
It's
hours. These are like 10. They're like double.
Yeah, are they only better because they're longer and have more time to tell a full complete story, or is it just like besides just that basic level, like we have enough time to tell a good story? Is it just like like you're saying the writing and stuff? Does it actually feel
It,
different
it, it feels
because of
different. It feels
that? Okay,
different. It feels a step up. It feels much smoother. Granted, this is the first one I've played with the PS5 version. Everything else I played PS4, so that might be a part
sure.
of the step up as well in my mind. But um, it just it's good. It's so good.
Hmm.
It's very. I think like Until Dawn was my favorite, and might have got my game of the year that year. Was
Hmm.
for sure top three that year. And we just did our game of the years, but this probably would have been close to being up there. Like it is so
Oh,
good.
interesting. Yeah.
So I guess if you haven't played, let's start with the story. So the story of the Quarry, which is kind of the main focus, because you don't really do much playing, and I think if you don't
Oh,
understand
really?
that coming in, a
Hmm.
lot of it is you walk around and then you watch a scene. You walk around for a second, you watch a
Sure.
scene. There's no real other than kind of walking around and collecting things. There's lots of collectibles.
Hmm.
Everything else is quick time events inside of these scenes. So there's
Yeah.
not. It's not like you never have a gun and you're shooting. Well, you kind of get a gun and you can kind of shoot stuff, but it's involved in a quick time event.
Sure.
Um, but it's never like walking around and shooting stuff. Like if you're getting chased by something, it's quick time events on your stick, like jump over, like hit up to jump over the log, hit left to dodge behind a tree, like that kind of stuff, like in time.
Hmm.
So you never get anything more gameplay wise than that. Which again, I think you need to know that going in because if you're looking for a game, this is not the type of game where you're just going to jump in and go like, okay, how am I playing? I'm still a cutscene and 3 hours in, and it's still just cutscenes. Like that is what
Sure.
it is.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so the story of this is basically the intro of this actually is fantastic. I don't even want to necessarily talk about the intro because the intro is intense and it's crazy, and it kind of sets up where it's going. But basically, it's the end of summer camp, and these 7 or 8 counselors are there, and one like stupid jock guy wants one more night with his summer girlfriend, so he breaks the minivan they're going to take out that morning,
Oh my god.
and you go to talk to the counselor. He's like, all right, I need you all to leave. And then he goes to turn the van on and he's like, it won't start. And the head counselor, the dude who runs the camp, just loses his shit. Like, what do you mean it won't start? What are you going to do? Okay, well, I got to go. I got to go. I'm leaving. Lock yourselves in there. Do not come out.
Oh, fun. That's fun.
And of course they go, Well, we just got the place to ourselves one more night. Let's go have a party on the beach.
That's
And
funny.
horror ensues.
Horror happens.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it because it does kind of skirt a lot of horror genres. There's some
Yeah.
hints at different genres coming in. I think it's kind of advertised as kind of almost slashery. Of course, there's a little bit of supernatural stuff in certain ways, but I don't want to get much more into that or more into it than that. But a lot of it is going in and figuring out, okay, what's happening? How is this happening? How do we get out? And all of those things. And it's a lot of just like dumb teens in high school doing dumb teen things throughout the game. And it is very well done. It goes to a lot of different places. Again, if you're not familiar with the genre, they have lots of endings. I think I got a bad one. I couldn't really tell.
Sure.
Mine
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just very abrupt. I screwed a quick time event at the end, and then all of a sudden the game was over 5 minutes later. So it's probably a sign that
Yeah, I had that issue with Until Dawn for sure. I was so good about keeping everybody alive.
Yep.
And Until Dawn, I think I'd lost one person, and then I just lost like the entire cast because I couldn't hold my controller straight.
Yep. Mine similar. I think there's 10 chapters. I think it was chapter 9 was my first death, and I was like, well, damn it, I made it so close. And
Yeah.
The one that got me the most was the one that it ended on, because it was like a move the circle to the point and push the button type one, where it's like, oh yeah, you gotta get your reticle to the circle, you gotta push a button, and it was that one, and I swear to God that damn thing happened, and it was in there when I pushed that button, and then all of a sudden said character
That's so funny.
is no longer alive, and the game's like, and scene. These couple of people
So
were
funny.
fine because they were already here, but
Yeah,
you clearly saw what happened to this guy. Sorry.
that's funny.
But yeah, it's really good. It does do one thing that it took from Dark Pictures that I'm not sure why, and I don't remember if Until Dawn did this because it's been years, but there's like weird intermissions where this old creepy lady reads tarot cards to you.
They definitely did that on Until Dawn because
Okay.
that's the psychiatrist scenes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so it was. Because they do that in
Yeah.
Dark Pictures, and I was for the life of me couldn't remember if it was Until Dawn. But they do that, and it's
Yeah.
actually interesting because if you find them, there's a couple in each level. She will read one to you, and then it will show you like a 5-second scene of something that is clearly like avoidable in the next chapter.
Yeah.
Is that what Until Dawn did too?
They did something very similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
But to me, it was always so vague, and it was always like some dumb quick time event that I was like, it would have fucked up. It wouldn't have helped me that much. Were they helpful though? Where you're like, oh, okay, I know what to do here.
Not necessarily helpful, just more interesting. Where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Like I know when this happens to be on the lookout for a quick time event. So there were a couple that were kind of helpful,
Sure.
but yeah, it's really good. There's not much more to say just because it's kind of like talking about a movie where it's like, okay, if we get really too into it, I feel like I'm just gonna start spoiling things. I don't want to do that. The one thing I will say is this is very like they lean hard into like the high school bullshit, like for like the first couple hours.
Yeah.
So the structure of it is there's this incredible like 15-minute intro where you're lost in the woods and your car breaks down, like that type of thing, and it's really, really well done. And then there's like 2 or 3 chapters that are a lot of like getting to know the game, like maybe there's some creepy stuff happening, but it's a lot of like, oh man, what are you doing next summer? Well, I'm taking it's just like, go get the beers from the cabin, like oh man, old man Hackett locked up his guns, oh but I found fireworks, like that kind of stuff.
But I feel like Until Dawn kind of subverts that a little bit, because I think the thing that was cool about Until Dawn is like one of the best characters in the game was like the dumb jock guy, because the characters kind of changed by then. But do they stick more hard to their sort of stereotypes throughout this game?
Yeah,
because I felt like that was kind of the thing that kind of there's a lot of subversion in Until Dawn, but it doesn't seem like there's that much of this. What you're saying?
No, it's very like dumb jock is dumb jock, mysterious quiet guy is mysterious quiet guy.
Oh, okay, sure.
Skanky girl is skanky girl, like
sure.
nerdy nervous girl is nerdy nervous girl.
Is the acting good though, or like are
it's well written.
Okay.
It's like the characters are really like they look good. It's acted well. The one thing is there are weird mouths. I don't know what it is about the scans they did, but there's 1 or 2 characters where it literally looks like their mouth is like half of their face, and it's just
weird.
It's very oddly proportioned, and I don't like it. And it was one of those things. I think it was like it was within the first couple hours. I literally paused the game and was like, "Am I crazy?" And I just Googled the Quarry weird mouse, and there were just a whole bunch of people on like Reddit or something. They're like, how is this a thing? Like, and just screen caps of it. So if you want a good laugh, there's a couple good like.
That sucks because those are real people. Those are like actual scans of people.
No, I know, and like and one or two of them because they're a couple recognizable actors, and one of them is somebody who was like, oh yeah, I know them from other things. I'm like, their mouth is not that big. I have seen them in TV shows
Sure.
and movies, and their mouth is
Sure.
nowhere near this big. Something you did messed that up.
It's funny. That's
But
funny.
it's just weird. But it's really good if you like horror stories at all. If you're into like all that like really any genre of horror, I feel like this kind of skirts
Mm-hmm.
around so many that um if you kind of have any interest in horror just in general, it's really really interesting. It's about 9 or 10 hours. I think some will
Mm-hmm.
change depending on who you kill, who you don't kill. There's scenes you'll see that you may not see otherwise. um but it's really good. I think it is definitely a worthy follow up to Until Dawn, and I think we've kind of
Mm-hmm.
been waiting for that because none of the Dark Pictures have really gotten to that level.
Sure.
And Until Dawn, Rush of Blood is not these things. So I do
Yeah.
I do think this is kind of the follow up to Until Dawn that I think a lot of us have been waiting for 4 or 5 years now, and I think it definitely succeeds in capturing that same magic, capturing that same feel. Um, you like Life is Strange, you like Telltale games. This is right there
Nice.
with the best of them.
Cool.
But we are Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us wherever you're listening, and we will see you later.
Bye.